and welcome to another virtual class at Candyland Crafts. My name is Susan from Chef Suze, and I'll be happy to walk you through this class. If you have any questions, just comment, email us, let us know, and we'll definitely get back to you. Hopefully you've ordered your kit already. This class is for the Russian tip buttercream flowers, and I'm going to be very excited to show you these tips. They're a lot of fun to work with. They make beautiful flowers, and they are a lot of fun. A lot of different things you could do with them. If you received your kit, you would have gotten 6 cupcakes, your buttercream, 3 pastry bags, 4 different colors. I believe it's yellow, green, black, and red. Of course, we have many other colors at Candyland. And you'll also have received 2 Russian pastry tips. One is a 246 and the other one is a 247, and they're going to be a lot of fun. There are just so many of those. And the other tip you would have received is a large leaf tip, and that is tip number 353. So the only thing that you'll need, you're not going to need too much else for this class, but you will need some bowls in order to mix your different colors, and also some powdered sugar, because with these tips you want to make sure that this icing has to be very stiff. So it's definitely a much stiffer consistency. A spatula or a couple of spoons, anything like that, and you should be good. Again, it's a fun class, and I'm going to get the camera a little closer so you can see what we're doing. Okay, so now I've divided the buttercream into 4 different bowls, and I'm going to add the colorings. It depends how vibrant you want them. The picture that we have on the website for the classes is a much softer pink, which you can do just by adding a lot less. I just thought for purposes of this class, the 2 vibrant colors would definitely show up a lot better in the video. So this buttercream does need to be a lot stiffer because of the Russian tips. You definitely need a much stiffer buttercream. So after I get the desired color that I want, I'm going to add some powdered sugar. Make sure you sift that powdered sugar so that there are no lumps in it. But you're just going to add it until it'll stand up kind of on its own. So I'm doing a yellow and a red. The red is a very soft red. You'd go darker if you'd like, or even lighter. And then we have some green for the leaves that we'll do. We're going to do a little technique with that green also. We're going to do several different techniques actually with these tips. Then I also have just a little bit of black buttercream. And again, I'm going to put a little bit of powdered sugar in there. Usually it takes a lot of color to get it dark black, even though these are very concentrated, so they do work well. And again, the colors get darker as time goes on, so you may have the color that you want, and then 2 hours later it's much more saturated. So you want to stop with the color about 2 shades prior. For the black, I don't need a pastry bag because I'm only going to use a very tiny bit. So I just have a little sandwich Ziploc bag. Just make sure that the corners are not pleated. I know some of them are pleated. You're going to fold it over, fill the bag, and then fold it back up and seal it. This way your hands stay nice and clean. There's going to be a little air pocket in there. We're just going to cut the tiniest little hole, but right now we're just going to put it off to the side. The next tip we're going to use is the leaf tip. This is a large leaf tip. It is number 353. I believe it's a Tico. We're going to place it, we're going to, of course, cup the bag again as usual. Then we're going to drop that leaf tip inside the bag. As soon as we get a nice cuff on there, that cuff keeps your hands nice and clean in your work surface. So you're going to place that tip in there. Be careful, it's sharp on the end. You don't want to poke a hole in that bag. And also make sure you get rid of that little plastic tip. You certainly don't want that in your buttercream. And you can see the bag is down far enough so it doesn't interfere with that V on the tip. Then I'm going to take a little bit of white buttercream, and I'm going to paint the inside, only on one side of the bag. And just paint the side of the bag. with a white. You could do a paler green. We're just going to do, again, the white and the green, so you have a lot of contrast, so you could see it a lot better. Then I'm going to take the green and paint the other side of the bag. Again, if you wanted a softer contrast, you would tint the white as well. So we'll just fill up the bag on each side. It doesn't have to be perfect because nothing is perfect with the leaves. It's a very variegated technique that really looks nice. And then you want to unfold your bag and then kind of pat it down flat, because the last thing you want is air in that bag. You'll be making beautiful leaves and all of a sudden you'll hit an air pocket and there goes your leaf. Poof. So we'll just put that off to the side along with the black. And now I have two different techniques I'm going to show you as far as painting the bag, or this technique where I have a piece of plastic wrap. I'm taking the yellow buttercream and I'm going to paint it onto the plastic wrap about a 6 by 4 inch square. Just nice and smooth. Again, you could do one color, you could do two colors, you could do as many colors as you like for this. For this demonstration, I'm just going to do the yellow on the outside. And then I'm going to take some of the pink or red, it's a light red, and I'm going to put that, what this is going to do is going to be a very distinct center to the flower. So I'm just going to put a line of the darker color right down the center. Try to stay as neat as possible on this one. And you'll see once I start the flowers, the difference in the two techniques. So now I'm just going to, again, make sure it's neat in there. And then I'm going to take the plastic wrap and just fold it over, almost as if you were making sushi. Just tap it down, make sure there's no air in there, roll it over. So you want to encompass that second color, the darker color on the inside. And then you're going to just roll it up a little bit. Tuck in the buttercream because you don't want the plastic rolled into the buttercream. And then trim up the bag a little bit, the plastic wrap, excuse me. And then we're just going to put that off to the side. And the other technique is going to be, again, similar to the green, but it's going to be painting the inside of the bag. This Russian tip is the ridged tip. It's like a somewhat of a tulip with a ridged edge. They're much larger, so you'll see when you put that in there. This tip I might have cut a little bit too shy, so the next one, that's the regular tulip tip. That would be number 246. You'll see where the bag is right at the edge. With these Russian tips, you want to make sure that you have a secure grip on that cut. Then I cut the tip of that plastic log so that the buttercream just shows, and drop it into the bag. Also keeps your bags really clean. You could do a lot of different colors like this. Put that off to the side. Then here we go with the painted bag technique, where I'm just like the green leaf bag, I'm taking the darker color, placing it inside the bag, and kind of just painting it against the side of the bag. And again, you could use more than two colors for this as well. This is a much more casual type of flower, not anything that you want like a specific area in a different color. So maybe a bouquet that has different petal leaves that have just different touches of color. Again, you're going to pat it down. Make sure there's no air in there. You see the color on each side. So again, this is just two colors, but you could do more than that if you like. And then you're just going to twist that, put it on the side, and here we go. The fun starts now. We're going to do the first technique. So you want to twist the bag so there's no air in there. We're going to put a flower right in the center just to start. You squeeze, you stop the pressure, and you pull up. And you can see how small the flower is. If you want larger flowers, next I'm squeezing and I'm not really stopping that much until I get a little bit higher. And then it's kind of a quick jerk on your wrist just to get a nice clear flower in there. And then I'll do one more in the center. And you could see with that technique how the center of the flower is very vibrant, and then the leaves on the outside are the lighter color, so it's definitely very defined. When you use the other method, again, you're going to twist, squeeze, release pressure, and stop. And then if you want longer ones, you don't release the pressure as quickly. So you could see the difference. So depending on what type of flower you'd like, these I'm going to make a little long tulips. The one in the center was a short one, but now I'll go in and I'll just fill that out. And it almost looks like a wildflower tulip with the different colors. So you could see the difference, how one is much more defined than the other. And here's where we're going to use the black for the stamens, for the center of the flower. You want to cut off just the tiniest bit of that plastic bag. And then twist it down, make sure there's no air in there. Then you're going to squeeze the bag and pull up, and then stop squeezing and just continue to pull straight up. And you'll see, you can practice this on a little piece of parchment paper first. But you're kind of going into the center of the flower and pulling up. You'll see it a little bit more clearly at the end when I post the picture of how the end product looks. But actually, it's a very easy process. Again, I use black, so it is a very contrasting color. You can do something softer if you'd like. The black actually does really look nice. Clean off that tip. Make sure that it's nice and clean when you do that. And just keep taking a look at your flower, your cupcake, and roll it around and see where you think you might like to put those stamens. I usually have about 3 to 4 inside each flower. I'm going to do the other one also, but right now I'm going to show you the leaf tip. Now, there are two, there's a right way and a wrong way. And the first time I started using this, I was definitely doing it the wrong way, which is like that. All you get is a blob. But if you put it straight up and down with the tip down and squeeze and pull down, you get a beautiful leaf. And you can see that's the wrong way and that's the right way. And then you can see also how that white was coming through. So if you wanted to do 2 different greens instead of the white, although the white looks a little bit like English ivy, you can just go ahead and do that as well. And then just wherever you see any little cupcake, you could just go in and put your little leaf. This one I'll go along the sides just to cover up any little areas, or just to put leaves where you like them. And this one I kind of went up on top and put a few more leaves as well. Didn't need to, just gave it a little more definition. And just keep looking at it and putting them wherever you think a leaf would look nice. You don't want it too symmetrical because it's a little more natural. So the one thing you do have to make sure is that your buttercream does not get too warm and your hand doesn't get too warm. I'm going to show you here what happens when if your buttercream is not stiff enough or if it gets too warm. First one seems fine, but then all of a sudden they get really soft and mushy, and that's the problem you might have. What just happened there. So what you want to do is make sure that you go ahead and take that buttercream and put it in the refrigerator, in the tube. Just leave it there for a little bit because, as you could see, it's just one mess after another. So that's what you don't want. So you could put that in the refrigerator. Another thing you can do, because sometimes your hands get really warm with working with this a lot, run your hands under cold water, dry them off, and then start again. And you may have to do this several times. Again, with this particular technique, you want to make sure that buttercream is stiff and a little chilled. So we'll just put that off to the side. We'll do another cupcake where we're going to put both flowers on it. If you want to do a type of bouquet, Again, squeeze, lift, squeeze, stop the pressure, lift, depending on how tall you want that flower. You can go in with the leaf tip while my other buttercream is in the refrigerator. And that would be a long leaf. You just keep squeezing and pulling down. And that actually works really nicely on a cake. With the cupcake, I just wanted to show you this technique. On the cupcake, you'd have trouble peeling that off, that little wrapper off with all that buttercream. But it is a nice little technique with that leaf tip. So we'll try one more of these while that other buttercream is chilling. Yep. Maybe not. We won't have room for the other ones. So we're just going to go ahead, and it's not quite chilled enough, but it's a little bit better, as you can see. You can even twist it a little bit, and you'll get a different type of flower, or even a flower that looks like it's a little more open than the other ones. And again, you can go in and put your leaves. I'm going to go back now and put those little stamens in there just to make them look very realistic. This is a really fun project. I absolutely love working with these Russian tips. If you have any questions, just let us know. Email us, comment on Facebook, or you can email us at sales@kenyalandcrafts.com. You could reach out to me as well at chefsuse.com or chefsuse, SUSE, on Facebook, and I would be happy to help. I really hope you enjoyed this class. Stay safe.